Now that's pretty interesting. Not a scratch. Not a scratch. Hello everyone, Jerry Miculek here. I've got a test medium here, and what I'm excited to do today is shoot it with some different handgun calibers and kind of talk about the difference between concealment and cover and what kind of penetration qualities handguns have in general and how you can use this to your benefit and what it offers and what it doesn't offer. So the first shot we're going to make is a quartering shot through glass. It's going to be pretty difficult for the bullet to make this, but I just want to give you an idea. Just because you see the target, you might not be able to engage it effectively. So the shot we are going to make is like a quartering shot. We're going to stand back here. It's going to be like a 35-degree angle. We've got this window here. We're going to shoot through it with a 357 Magnum, and it's going to enter there, hopefully pass through this window and hit our target here. So we've got two hard objects on an angle, 357 Magnum. We got our target. We can see it, but can we hit it? So let's go make a shot. Okay guys, so what I have for a handgun, it's a Model 66, it's a K-frame 357 Magnum. And what I have for ammunition, of course with a 357 Magnum you can go from 110 grain all the way up to 180 in factory loads. So this is actually a 140 grain Hornady. It's a mid-weight, but it's got 1440 feet a second. It's a very powerful round. It's something like someone would actually carry. And let's go ahead and make that shot and see if we can get both pieces of glass on the target at the same time. Here we go. Wow. We got some glass. There you have it guys, pretty interesting. We shattered both windows, very powerful ammunition. I can see the target. But as you can see, it's no fault of the ammunition. I didn't hit my intended target. So that glass did a good job of the angles and the hardness of defeating a 357 Magnum round. I don't think it would have mattered what bullet I had in it. Too much to go through. Could see the target, but I couldn't be effective. Another interesting aspect of what just happened, this window here has some heavy tinting on it, and it acts as a surface hardener here. It actually kept the glass intact, so if I was to shoot it again, I would hit almost the same resistance as I did with the initial shot. So on tinted windows, it might take more ammunition to make a clearance to get to the target. So it's kind of an interesting thing. And you notice on the driver's side, of course, there was no tinting and it shattered like it should, and it was out of the way instantly. So this one still represents a barrier, and that one, of course, is not there. So let's set up another scenario. Okay, for our next shot, we're going to amp it up to a rifle caliber. What you want to realize is the velocity difference. This is rated at 3,240 feet a second, I think, out of a 24-inch barrel. So we've got an 18-inch barrel, so it's probably really close to 3,000. It's a 55 FMJ, probably the most common round you're going to find for this platform. So we've got those two pieces of glass again, but we've got the angle is not quite as much as it was for the handgun, so it's about a 25-30 degree angle, if that. Same glass, but we're going to amp it up with more velocity. And when you get into velocity, it really makes for penetration, so it ought to be interesting to see how this reacts. So we have a safety on, flag out, one round of 55 ball, and let's see what it's going to do here. Here we go. All right, we're clear. As you can see, the window tint kept that glass intact for the next shot, so it still presented a barrier for the bullet to go through. Of course, this window shattered. It's gone. And we have a contact here, a pretty good size. It looks like most of the bullet actually made it to the target. Got some frag here and here. So it's really hard to tell how much projectile made it here, but it was still enough to make an exit wound, about 1/2 inch around. So velocity's your friend when you're shooting glass. Okay, we're going to talk about the door of an automobile for cover or concealment. It's more concealment than it is cover. Give you an idea, we've got this door stripped down. The inside panel is actually off of it. There is some hardware in here. But this particular model of automobile has a very narrow brace in the door. It's actually a piece of pipe about this big around. So it's running just about center of the door here. It's an impact panel. Not much to hide behind. Most other automobiles, full-size cars, have a panel about 6 inches wide of hardened metal, which is required by law to make the impact standards. And apparently this one does for this series of automobile, but it's a very narrow brace. And we're going to start off with a small caliber. We're going to take our target of opportunity here and lay it down in a seat. And we're going to see if the door is actually good cover or concealment. And we'll start off with a 22 long rifle. We're going to shoot about right here and see what happens. Okay, we've got a trusty 22 semi-automatic pistol here. It's got about a 3.5 inch barrel. We've got 40 grain high-speed solid ammunition. And we're going to go ahead and get parallel to the ground here and shoot that door right where I had pointed out earlier. And we've got our test target in there. And we're going to see if he's going to have any perforation or the door actually works for cover. So here we go. I'm going to get parallel to the ground, make it happen. All right, safety on. Let's take a look. Oh, as you can see, that bullet hit something on the way in and totally stopped. So kind of interesting. So we're going to move it around a little bit. Let's actually see what he did. There's the entrance. It hit some brace or something in there. Some gizmo stopped it, so it defeated that 22 long rifle by chance. So our good guy, he made the day, but we're gonna move the whole pattern just a little bit and see if we can light him up. All right, one more time. Here we go. 22. And we're clear. Let's go ahead and flag it. All right. And we are finished. Slide down. Yep. He's having a good day. So 22 long rifle didn't quite cut it. So out of a short barrel pistol, this door defeated it twice. So let's up it. The next cartridge we're going to try is a 38 Special. It's 158 grain lead round nose. It's probably the most popular round for the 38 platform. And let's go ahead and pop one here and see what we look like. All right, let's take a look. Huh, he's having he's having a real good day right here, guys. All right, we still haven't penetrated that door. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go right to a 357 Magnum load, that same 140 grain that we tried to go through the glass. We're going to skip that second 38 because we're just wasting time. Let's up it to a 357 Magnum. And let's see where we're going to shoot. All right, here we go, 357 Magnum. Oh, my guy is lucky today. If you take a look right here, it's kind of interesting. You can see the projectile. We hit one of the thickest spots on the door. If you look down with the camera right here, you can actually see it, how it captured it. So it's pretty interesting. It actually hit that wire dead on, hit that 2 layers of metal, and our guy's having a really good day. He actually has no secondary frag on him at all. So he's very lucky. So let's find something a little bigger. Okay, so far, our guy in the front seat there is having a real good day, but we're gonna up the ante here. We've got a 10 millimeter, it's a Smith & Wesson 1026, which means it's the long barrel 1076 back in the day when the FBI was issuing the 10 millimeter. So for ammunition, the first round we're going to fire is a 175 Hornady flex tip, and the second one is one that I like to carry and one that I load. It's a 200 grain XTP, and I've got it pretty much wide open velocity. It's my choice for shooting through stuff. So let's go ahead and try that 170 grain bullet here. and see if we can up the ante here. All right, 10 millimeter, 175. Here we go. And we're decocked. Here we go. Take a look at it. I tell you what, I have never fired so many rounds at a car, never had penetration yet, and that's pretty stellar. Look at there. It's like I'm trying to make that happen, but I'm not trying to make this happen. So let's take a look in here, see where that 10 millimeter went. It actually, it went into this secondary fold of metal right here. So there's 3 layers of steel, and apparently it's winning the moment. So let's go ahead and set our target back up. I've got that 200 grain XTP, and I'm going to fire it right here where that first 22 went, and take a look at it. So, all right, here we go. 200 grain XTP. Oh, I saw something that time. All right, let's go ahead and flag it up. Oh yeah, I finally hit a soft spot on the door, and it's kind of interesting that it went in, it tumbled, got him, but it also has a secondary piece of frag, could have been anything off the door. So that was the entrance here. And as you can see, what's been stopping everything, this is where that 10 millimeter came in, that second round. And you can see this piece of heavy metal. You can see it bulging here from another impact. We came around the other side of the car. This is that 200 grain XTP loaded up to maximum velocity. You can see it actually dented the door right there. So, yeah, you can see the entrance. So it carried on pretty good, almost made it all the way through. Let's get something bigger. Okay, we've got another favorite here, 45 ACP, 230 grain ball. It's what made that caliber famous. So we're going to try to shoot through that door again. We're going to try to hit that same mass that stopped that 357 and see if this 45 will go through the door here. All right. Ah, I hit exactly where I wanted. Must have been lucky. Let's go. That bullet encountered the exact same material that the 357 Magnum did, and our guy had a good day. So it looks like penetration on a car door is kind of a luck factor. There's a lot of things going on inside that you can't actually see, and we did get penetration finally with that 10 millimeter, but we missed one of the pieces of metal, and it made a big difference. It went all the way to the second door. So we're going to up the ante. It's kind of unrealistic, but we're going to shoot a 44 Magnum on it, and we're going to try to shoot it right here and see if we can blow through all that metal and see what we get. Okay, we've got a 44 Magnum. I've got that hard spot on that door again. I'm going to try to penetrate it here right in the same line that defeated the 357 Magnum and the 45 ACP. So we're going to try to place it about right here. What we have is a 240 grain Hornady XTP load, and let's see if we can hit it. All right. Clear. That's a lot of power. Woo. Oh, yeah. Ah, we got him. All right, 44 ruling the day, guys. Let's take a look. Yep. If you come around, it went through the door, went through that triple piece of metal, and kept it going somewhere. Went up into the dash, and it's probably stuck somewhere around the speedometer. So anyway, 44 Magnum, is that a practical carry gun? I don't know, but it made the day, and that's the difference between 240 grains at 1400 feet a second and 230 grains at 850 feet a second. So you can see the penetrative qualities quite vastly different. But let's amp it up a little bit more. Okay, we're going to up it a little bit. We've got a 12 gauge slug. This is a high velocity slug. It's a 1 ounce doing 1560 feet a second. It's a Fiocchi. I'm going to aim for that same barrier that defeated the 45 and most of all the other caliber of handguns. So Let's see what the trusty 940 JM Pro would do with a Fiocchi shotgun slug here. Here we go. Yeah, a whole lot different than a handgun. Well, that's an interesting target. Let's see what actually happened. All right, we're clear, we're flagged. The door actually opened. All right, so there's the sabot that the slug is attached to. So what I'm looking at is the slug itself came through the target, I believe. Here's a piece of it, so that's the bottom ring of it. So some of this has to be lead, even though I can't, well, that's interesting. That's an interesting, so it shattered the slug pretty good. You got a little bit of plastic. The plastic is pretty lethal, but I'm really surprised what this is. I can't really say what actually hit this. It looked like it drove the whole door mechanism through the target. So some of it had to be slug and some of it had to be door mechanism. Any which way you look at it, it's not a good day to be right there. So that was interesting. Let's get a load of buckshot. Okay, we're going into buckshot. We're going to shoot some high-speed buckshot. This is a Magnum load of triple-aught, so there's 12 pellets, and it's about all you can get in a 2 3/4 inch shell. I'm going to shoot between that hole and that handle, try to stay in that hard spot there, and see what it gives us here. So it's a Magnum load of triple-aught. Here we go. Oh, that was fun. Now that's pretty interesting. Not a scratch. Not a scratch. Not where to shoot, guys. This is really amazing to me. I thought this would have been, it totally sucked it up. So that has to be a really hardened piece of metal inside of that door right there. I mean, it didn't even, nothing. We're gonna try it again. We're gonna move our pattern down a little bit. I've got that same load of triple-aught Magnum. I like double-aught, by the way, more than I do triple-aught. That's why it's there. I'm gonna shoot right here. This appears to be the weakest spot of the whole door. And let's see what kind of conclusion we're gonna draw from this. It's kind of fun. All right, safety on. Let's go ahead and see if we can drill that weak spot here. Here we go. Oh, yeah. We got a few in him. Considering it started off with 12 pellets. Looked like about 6 of them got through. The door still did a pretty good job. We're flagged. Let me set this thing down. The door still did a good job of stopping. You can see the buckshot went all the way into the center console there. So they went in with enough energy to do a lot of damage. But that's the weak spot. So it's kind of interesting. You know, you're just that far from survivability to this. So anyway, let's up it a little more. As you saw on glass, velocity in a hard bullet stays in a straight line a little bit longer than all the handgun calibers. So we're going to up the ante here. So what we have a target right behind this door and one in front of the door, hoping to shoot through both doors. And this is a standard Hornady 55 223 round. So, all right, got one round, safety on, and let's go ahead and sting him here. We'll get both of these targets. Here we go. Let's take a look. Ooh, looky here, guys. That bullet exploded in that door. We're hitting some more of that hardened steel in that door, so it completely fragged it. You can see on the back of the target, it opened it up really good. So let's go look on the other side. And the other target caught pieces and parts here, even through the seats. It had some secondary frag that went through the seats and still perforated the target. So that's kind of interesting. So let's up that a little bit. Okay, we're up and ante a little bit. I've got a 7.62 by 51 round. It's an old British surplus NATO round, so it's full charge, 147 grain ball. It's not an armor piercing round of any type, just ball ammo. So let's go ahead and shoot that door. I'm going to try to shoot parallel with it, so I'll hit the same resistance. Safety on. All right, go ahead and take a knee here and let's give it some love. Here we go. So, of course, the entrance, pretty close to that 223 round. Oh yeah. I'm really shocked at that bullet catching that much resistance. You can see it's deteriorating really rapidly. Of course, this target caught a lot of impact, and a big piece of the bullet went back through the seat here. And we have an exit in 3 spots. So it's kind of interesting. Out of the small here and 2 here, and you can see by the target, even though the bullet was compromised greatly, it still had a lot of effect. And this piece was actually big enough to go through here, which is kind of interesting. So backside of the target is easier to see. So 147 30 caliber ball is a pretty wicked thing up close. It kind of compromises that concealment cover aspect of an automobile really quick. So as you can see, the handgun calibers are lacking, and it's purely luck on where you hit a door, whereas the rifle calibers have, of course, the speed and the hardness and the weight to carry through. So concealment versus cover versus automobiles, it looks like it's kind of a luck factor, so choose wisely.